My name is Patrick PRUNTY. Thank you all for being here. If everyone would be so kind as to type in your chat box and let me know if you can hear me okay, I'd greatly appreciate it. Always want to make sure and avoid technical difficulties and make sure that our sound quality is good. Excellent, getting some responses there. Well, anyways, first and foremost, again, I want to thank you all for tuning into tonight's presentation. I know you're interested in real estate, so pat yourself on the back for taking the next 45 minutes or so to educate your mind on another fantastic market offered by us here at Marshall Reddick Real Estate. We've got quite a few new members on the call tonight, so for those new members, what is Marshall Reddick Real Estate? Well, we're a residential real estate investment firm. We've been in business since 1979, and we make it our business to help you create and grow wealth with real estate. We do that with investment property, lending, and investment funds. For tonight's presentation, though, we're talking about the Tennessee-Kentucky metropolitan statistical area anchored by the fifth largest city in Tennessee, which is Clarksville. I mentioned my name is Patrick. I've been with Marshall for about 12 years now. It'll be 12 in June. I run the accounting department and really, taught myself from day one. I came out of college as a college intern and kind of worked myself into the controller position that I handle today. Being in that position really allows me to crunch down on a lot of numbers in different markets that we're in. And I can tell you that what you're going to see tonight are some of the best numbers that we have.
All right, hello, my name is TANYA LORIMORE, and you may know me or may not yet, but we will become good friends throughout the process. As a real estate advisor, I've been with the company for 2+ years now, and I work with you answering all your questions, starting with setting your criteria for what it is that you want in an investment property, showing you how to learn how to do all your due diligence throughout the process of buying, and I'll provide my famous checklist on what to do throughout purchasing, which never lets you get ahead of yourself. So I look forward to working with you guys. I'll be on the call throughout. Please feel free to ask questions throughout, and we'll get to them at the end. But yeah, let's get this thing started because I know so many people are interested.
Wow, thank you so much, Tanya. Always a pleasure to have you with me on these calls. Again, we're talking about the Clarksville, Tennessee-Kentucky metro area. And as you can see here from the map, that it's just outside of Nashville. It's actually about 40 minutes northwest, and it sits right on the border of the Tennessee-Kentucky border. It's just an absolutely beautiful area. This is a picture of the Cumberland River, which is actually a navigable river. They run large barges down this river, and it's huge. It runs about 700 miles from the Appalachian Mountains all the way to its confluence with the Ohio River on the Kentucky-Illinois border. But it runs right through town, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. For those of you who know me, you just really know that I'm a numbers guy, especially when it comes to real estate investing. I love to analyze data, look at trends, and this slideshow says it all. You can see that the total MSA population is now approaching 300,000, and you can see the explosion that it's had over the past couple of decades. This MSA includes both Montgomery and Stewart counties, which the major cities in those counties are Clarksville and Dover, and also on the Kentucky side, Christian and Trigg counties, which include Oak Grove and Hopkinsville. And a lot of our inventory from tonight comes out of the Oak Grove market, which is feeding off the Clarksville growth. And that's really, really where the deals are. Now, it's not just this MSA that is, experiencing this type of growth. I've got a regional chart here on the screen. Again, I love to crunch down the numbers. And so our 4 regions in the United States, Northeast, South, North Central, and West. And as you can see, I want you to focus in on the south, which is where this MSA is located in the state of Tennessee. So the south is really just taking advantage and, you know, blowing the rest of these regions out of the water. And, you know, people ask the question, you know, why is the South doing so much better in this particular MSA in terms of population growth than the others? Well, I mean, plain and simple. It's affordable, and the cost of living isn't so darn high like it is for us here in California. So I've got here an article out of MSN Money. I guess it originally appeared on credit.com, but Clarksville was just named, this is only about a couple months old, the #1 best market for new home buyers. So it had a 46% change in the millennial generation population. So, and of course, these numbers are just staggering, that the average down payment is about $14,000, which represents 10.5% of the purchase price. And you'll never believe that the second spot, the second 10 best market for first-time home buyers was Nashville, which is just about, like I said, 40 minutes southeast of Clarksville. So a lot of growth going on here, a lot of youngsters coming into this market. The tech-savvy people, which are really bringing a lot of employers after those educated young individuals. And it's simple. They can save for the down payment, and they can afford the high quality of life. Now, when that happens, you guys, what does that do? That increases price. All right, so we need to get in before the major growth happens. So last fall, I flew out there, toured the area. You had to fly into Nashville, which Nashville is a totally different city and a lot of growth going on there as well. But I took the short drive, about 40 minutes or so, just a beautiful drive. The trees were changing colors, and it was just a really enjoyable trip. I've got a couple photos that I took. Again, the Cumberland River on the left-hand side is just a beautiful sight that runs right through town. As you can see, it wasn't all work. I definitely had a great time. I'm a huge coffee fan, and I love Dunkin' Donuts. I'm so happy to hear that they're here now on the West Coast, because previously it's been an East Coast deal. So I own rental property in Oak Grove. We here at the Marshall Reddick Real Estate, we live, eat, breathe, sleep real estate, you guys, and it's important that you know that we are doing what we preach. So I just wanted to share with you guys the small little rental home that I purchased in the area. When we're talking about this particular market as well, you can't get out of a conversation without bringing up Fort Campbell. So Fort Campbell, you guys, is the second largest military base in the world. Of course, the United States has the largest military bases, so it's the second in our country. But just to go let you guys know how long it's been there. 1942, it's located right across the state lines, and it's just absolutely enormous. It's primarily an Army installation, but it does house some of the most specialized and elite airborne units, notably the Screaming Eagles. So we do have a high military population here, and that's certainly contributing to the economic growth that this region is experiencing. However, it's important to know that this is not the only game in town. I've listed on the screen here a couple of other of the metro area's top employers. A lot of you guys will be familiar, specifically American Standard. You guys probably have some of those kitchen and bathroom fixtures in your own home. You might go out and check your car as well. I imagine a lot of you have Bridgestone tires on your vehicle. So we've got a couple of large plants out of here. These are some of the major employers alongside of course, the military and all the extra jobs that brings to the market. So again, reverting back to the numbers and the research that I did before I bought property in this market, population, again, is a huge indicator. So you can see the explosive growth that it's experienced over the past couple decades. Jobs are plentiful. It's just extreme low cost of living. The housing affordability index for this area is 224. And for those of you that aren't sure about housing affordability, the average or the baseline is 100. Okay, so higher than 100 is less expensive. a lower cost of living, while below 100 is in the opposite end. So places like San Francisco and Los Angeles and New York, those would have low housing affordability index, meaning less people can afford to live there. Super business-friendly environment. A lot of our Republican states, like Tennessee, really have a very, very solid business framework. We also, it's staggering to me to look at the median incomes when compared to some of our major markets. I mean, as you can see here, in the 40,000s, we're really not that far from the highest median household income MSAs, which would be San Francisco, New York, and Los Angeles. Of course, median home values are stable, and they're growing. So the median home value today for this particular MSA is $130,000. I'm going to jump to the next screen there just to show you what the market has looked like, over the past decade, as well as the forecast for the coming years. So you can see what I really focused on here was the 2008-2009, and you can see it really didn't experience much of a hiccup. If you were to take a look at the same type of graph which we track for all of our major metro areas, if you were to look at the same one for like a Las Vegas or a Phoenix or an Orlando, Florida, you're going to see a stark difference and a huge drop in the 2008, 9, and 10 years. But this just goes to illustrate, that while the Clarksville Metro may not necessarily blow it out of the park, and you might never experience 20 or 30% appreciation like you do in some of the markets I mentioned, or as we do in California, you're certainly not going to be subject to the major risk of the downturn. All right, so it's just one of those steady Eddie markets that continues to just go up. Rents are increasing. It's very solid, very conservative. So how are we able to be in this market? Well, not a lot of you know, we have Mr. John Arrington, who is our longest standing Marshall-Reddick regional rep. I have another slide I'm going to get to when we talk about the property management, but John's been with us for 20 years now. It's just staggering. He was here when I started, about 12 years ago in 2003, and he's just a wealth of information, and he's just got his ear to the ground constantly. He's always looking for the next deal, and he runs a heck of a property management company. I've also listed his assistant there, Malika Womack, and those of you that are interested and that write contracts on these properties or offers, you will be working primarily with Malika. She's the one that's going to be representing you as the buyer in the transaction. Of course, John's always available if you'd like to pick his brain, or myself, or Tanya, as she mentioned. I was on the phone earlier today with our local lender in this market. His name's Phil Cornett, and I'll have a slide on him a little bit later, but he brought to my attention something that I hadn't realized that hadn't broken ground when I was out in Clarksville last fall. And that's simply that we're getting closer to establishing a light rail line service between Clarksville and Nashville. And this would just be absolutely huge. So I've got a news article here out of the Leaf Chronicle, which is the oldest periodical in the state of Tennessee. And you can check it out yourself and read the whole article. I've listed the URL there at the bottom. But the bottom line, guys, is that when we get that light rail line, that's just going to absolutely open up the transportation lines between the two so that we won't be stuck with bus and simply driving. This is only going to be positive and bring more jobs to the region. A couple of quick highlights. Specifically, I love this slide, that Tennessee simply has no state income tax. The only income tax you'll pay there at the state level is on dividend or interest income. So this is a huge draw and another one of those huge regions why this particular market is seeing major, major population growth. On the Kentucky side, it's got some of the lowest state income taxes, between 2 and 6%. And for the military, active and retirement or disability, they're exempt. There's no state income tax there for them. Now that's a huge draw because as these military veterans come back, they've got families in the area and they don't migrate away. They stay and they take advantage of those tax benefits. One of the major things that I really like about this area too is its close proximity to some of the other major cities around. I mentioned that Nashville is only 40 minutes away, but in addition, it's within a couple of hours drive between some of the other major cities you've heard of: Louisville, Memphis, St. Louis, Indianapolis, and Atlanta to the south. I visited a number of these attractions while I was out there. I was mostly looking at real estate because that's what I was really out there for. Of course, I wanted to meet John, but he recommended that I get out and I take a look at some of what the community has to offer. So when you guys go out and visit this area, after you buy some property and you decide to go out and take a look at it, you're definitely going to want to visit some of these attractions. Here I am again, just having a grand old time. I'm actually just outside John's office there. And I wanted just to show it to you and just bring it home. But with that, I want to turn it back over to Tanya. She'll talk to us a little bit about the property management that John offers.
All right, you guys. So one thing that I really deal with time and time again when evaluating properties is, going over the property management agreement. It's one of the biggest points that you'll want to do besides reading the lending documents that you sign before you close on a property. You want to read these documents. The major one is we always have this joke where you date your real estate agent, but you end up marrying your property manager, right? It's a long-term thing. Real estate is not a quick, buy, flip, you make so much money, etc., and then sell. No. You're going to hold this property for 5, 15, 20, 30, 40 years maybe, right? So it's really important to have a property manager that you trust. So as Pat had covered earlier, he's one of the longest members that we have continued our business with, which says a lot because we have a lot of Marshall Reddick investors where it's our job to make sure that you guys are happy. So as you can see, he manages over 400 properties. Been doing a really good job because we're still working with him. I think it's really important to share this, and I do this on all of my consultations, is we don't make any money from the property management side. So I don't have an invested interest into putting you with John Arrington's property management company. I don't have any gain in that. All I know is that you're part of membership. I can call John and say, hey John, our client had a question or something, but that's not that often, obviously, because vacancy rates are low. As you can see, 5 to 6% vacancy rate. So it's a quick turnaround, which is always nice. You don't want your property vacant for too long. Now, Marshall Reddick always tries to go to bat for you guys, and we try to get the most special rate for you. So here you can see there are two options. A one-time fee that you pay up front of $350 will allow you to get for a lifetime with his management team a 7% monthly management fee. And every single time he leases your property, it's a flat fee, which isn't very common, which I'll be happy to go over all the different property management agreements because there's not a staple one. But this is one of the most favorable contracts that we have. So it's a one-time leasing fee that gets you 7%, and each time it's leased out, $200. There's never a releasing fee. So if your tenant decides to stay, you don't have to pay an extra fee like some property management companies do. And I'll be happy to show you an example on other property management companies, but they like to do an upcharge on maintenance. That's not happening here. So it's such a great property management company, as you can see, 20 years now. Or if you don't want to do the $350, pull out your calculators on your own time and figure out how much that is, or I'll walk you through it. But it's $200 and 10% every month, which gets costly because it's going to be a 5, 10, 15, 20-year property management relationship. So that's my portion, and I'll go over some properties soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tanya. I just wanted to kind of highlight this again and specify the differences. $350 one-time fee, guys, buys you a 7% management. That's definitely recommended. That's what I did. The alternative, which is his standard rate, is just simply a $200 leasing fee. So while that might save you $150 up front, it's going to cost you 3% more every month. So when you shake out, your $850 or $950 a month in rent times that 3% times the number of months it's going to take you to calculate or save that $350, it's certainly worth the additional upfront cost. Again, that $350 is only a one-time fee. Otherwise, the leases after that are $200 when you have a new tenant, and as Tanya mentioned, no release fee and no upcharge maintenance. Absolutely, I couldn't have said it better, that this is one of our most favorable property management contracts. So I want to talk a little bit about, I talked about John Arrington, which I'm going to touch again on it, but how do we find and how do we get these great, fantastic, high return investment properties like we have for you tonight? Well, it starts with the acquisition team that involves John, that involves myself, and we're basically going out, we're buying these properties for cash. You get preferential treatment when you do that. Plain and simple. You're paying cash, you're going to be able to close immediately. The seller is looking to sell faster, right? Easier. They don't have to wait for financing to go through, which sometimes falls through or takes long or subject to appraisal, all of these other things. We also have them inspected up front and make sure that they are termite free. Then we move to the renovation side. Okay, so when you're buying foreclosures, they always need work. All right, they're never turnkey. So we understand that when going in. We have the management, we have the renovation teams, the contractors in place to put together quality renovation jobs, right? In addition to that, we're already marketing the property for rent. John's, does a great job at doing that, and we're putting in solid tenants before you close. So when we get to the property section tonight, you'll notice that 2 of the 5 properties that I have, 3 of the 5 are already rented, and the others offer a rent guarantee that they will be rented at the market rent specified prior to your close. Guess what that means? You cash flow right from the get-go. No downtime, no vacancy factor in the first 12 months. And in turn, we take all of those benefits that we have, and we're able to offer solid investment property to Marshall Reddick investors just like you guys, just like me, just like Tanya and the rest of us here at the office. We take the risk up front, we do the heavy lifting, you collect the cash flow and take the equity position. On to the properties, what you've been waiting for, always the good and my favorite time of the presentation. So tonight's featured property, featured simply because it's got the highest ROI, as you can see, is 102 Wassom. So I wanted to point out, for those of you, there's a lot of you probably who are now familiar with our website, but it's come so far in the last 12 months. This is actually a PDF printout that's available from our website that we put into the presentation. So know that you can always get these figures and crunch down the figures yourself if you like to use different factors. We always include a maintenance factor and a vacancy factor. Both of those are 10% based on this being a B-class property. But you may be comfortable with changing those numbers. You also can change the down payment amount. You can change the interest rate. We have them default to certain factors that we're comfortable with based on our research over the past few decades. But just understand that our website will help you calculate these numbers very easily and very quickly. So again, this is one of our properties that is already rented at $850. You can read that in the description right there below. Here's a couple photos of the inside. Totally renovated property. Some of the highlights of the renovation here on this screen. Laminate throughout, which is awesome. I prefer laminate over carpet in my rentals. It's a little bit more expensive up front if you don't already have it, but it's maintenance free in terms of the carpet always has to be changed out. So that really makes this a desirable property for me. Additionally, it's got vinyl in the kitchen and bathrooms. Again, so all hard surfaces throughout this property. Brand new appliances, complete exterior and interior paint, power wash of the vinyl siding. It looks spick and span. Additionally, the deck is being restained as we speak. Our offering price on this property is $85,500, which we've provided some comparables there on your own. I highly encourage you to go take a look at some of the comparables in this market, which you can easily do with the uprise of some of the new websites out there like Zillow or Trulia. So go check for yourself. You're going to see that this property is being offered by us exclusively. It's not on the MLS for 10 to 15K below market value to your benefit. Tanya, you want to jump back in and take over on this one?
Absolutely. So as you can see, this is my pick. This is my favorite one for tonight. Here we are, 810 Shetland. What's so desirable about this, you ask? You look at this cute house and you look at all the rest of them we're going to present. Notice it's a 2-car garage. That's amazing, and it's attached. So it's not that common. We might be thinking, oh, whatever, we have 3-car garages, but that's not the norm over there. So this is going to be really desirable to a family. Again, why I love it, it's already rented. It has a tenant in there at $925 a month. It's a newer home built in 2006. 3 beds, 2 baths, as you can see. Check out the returns over here on the right. It's a very nice return, 18.82, almost 19% for the projected over here. But, I mean, just keep on looking at it. It's amazing. I'm going to get to the comps, too, but next we're going to go to the pictures. So here we are. It's lovely, has a great living room, fireplace, which is always nice. You can see that the stainless steel appliances are in there. Great backyard with a deck. So that's really neat. And on to the comps. As you can see, this property was listed at a little less than $95,000, $94,900. What do you see? Everything is more. These are sold properties in the area that have gone recently. You can go ahead and pull them up online. But the advantage is that we've already done that for you, but I say trust but verify. Go on and check for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Tanya. Wanted to specify that the $94,900 on this property is the price that we're offering it for. Also had a good question, so I'm going to take a pause and I'm going to address that about who you're buying the property from and is the work already done. So John Arrington, with our help, is buying these properties. He is the owner, and for the first 2 properties that we've looked at, the renovation is already 100% complete. Both of these properties are the ones then, therefore, that are already rented. So again, Wassom, the featured property tonight, is completely renovated and is rented at $850. The Shetland property, which is, has the 2-car garage, which is an extreme benefit here, is already rented at $925 with all of the renovation complete. We don't list these on the MLS because we want to provide a service to you guys in terms of a turnkey property that's already rented. When we place tenants, that then makes it difficult to sell the property in terms of a local owner-occupant buying it. So that's why these are not listed on the MLS. Okay, Golden Pond. This is a fantastic property as well. All of these that we're looking at tonight are all 3-bedroom, 2 baths with a garage. The property that I showed you earlier, that's my property, it's a little bit smaller. It's a 3, 1.5 with no garage. And that was what it was available at the time, and I got a good deal on it. But I can definitely tell you that in terms of a rental and in terms of long-term appreciation and resale, having the second full bath as well as an attached garage is a huge benefit. Okay, so important to note that this property is not rented yet. It will rent for $850 or greater, and we guarantee that that will be the case before you close on it. So you are certainly welcome to put up an offer and to write a contract on this property, and by the time you close, we will have a tenant placed. Again, at the $850, which is what figure we're using in the calculations for the ROI on this property. Couple photos of the interior. Again, one of the highlights here, I love the cute little decks out back. I live in the city. I live in Long Beach. And, you know, while I love it there, I don't have a cute, awesome little backyard like this with a deck. And I can just envision myself, if I was a tenant, I would want the same, and I'd have my barbecue out there with my lawn chairs and my family, and it would just be an enjoyable experience. Some similar situation on the renovation. Brand new carpet throughout this one with vinyl in the kitchen and bath. Brand new appliances. Again, full exterior and interior paint. The vinyl siding's been power washed, and a new stain on the rear deck. This one, again, we're looking at substantial equity position that we're offering, 10 to 20K below market value with an asking price of $88,500. Go ahead and take a look at the comps. And again, I'm just going to mention, I encourage you to do a little research and tell me what you believe the property's worth. Tanya, jump back on for me.
All right, so here we have Pepper Court. This is a great property. Look at that detail on what it is that we've put for the description. So it will be rented at $850. We have no doubts that we'll be able to get that by, closing. You're going to walk into equity, as you'll see when we get there. But check out this. So we're going to provide a home warranty and 1% closing cost concessions just to go ahead and take advantage of this now. We're all in it to make money and make our money work for us. So this is something that we're putting out there. It's a beautiful property. You're going to love the home inspection. It's going to appraise really well. But it was totally remodeled. So let's go ahead. If you guys check out the numbers over here to the right, it's a little less than $88,000. So all you need with closing costs for the loan and everything is going to be about $26,500.
Yeah, and again, just to interrupt, I apologize, Tanya. That's at 25%. So certainly, there, loans are available for properties 1 through 4 for 20% down. So you could certainly get into this property for less. We always recommend 25% down. But if you wanted to get in for a little bit less and take advantage of that 1% closing concession, this would be a good opportunity for you.
Absolutely. All right. So on to the photos. As you can see, everything nicely done, totally rehabbed. Check out the wood floors. So like what Patrick was saying, less carpet means less wear and tear. I love that too. But it's just a great property. Let's go on to the comps. This is going to be kind of cool. So as you can see, everything is like $10,000 more plus. So don't trust me. Go ahead. Check it out online. Go ahead, copy paste those addresses. That is what it is. So laminate throughout, new carpet in all the bedrooms, new refrigerator, all these new appliances for you, complete paint all over, interior, exterior. So did you want to add something, Patrick? It looks like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight in this property, during our acquisition, or John's acquisition of this property, the inspection came back that the roof wasn't up to par. So one of the highlights of this particular property, making it one that will be maintenance-free far into the future, is the fact that we just had a new roof installed. The other properties, the roofs were fine, and again, we're dealing with very, very new properties. I think Wassom is maybe the oldest one that we have, and that's built in 1998, with Shetland being the newest, built in 2006. So, I mean, having such newer homes, you're going to have less maintenance anyways, but the fact that this one offers a new roof really makes it desirable.
So, as we're going through this, use that questions, comments box. Go ahead and write me notes so that when I follow up with you, there's only one of me. Go ahead and let me know which one you kind of like best. Say, I like pepper the best. I, prefer Golden Pond. I prefer Shetland, which is my pick of the week, or I prefer Wassom. Go ahead, type that in there just for fun so that when we follow up, it'll be a lot easier for us to connect. And mind you, Marshall Reddick makes you priority. We do not allow bidding against. As soon as one person steps forward and says they would like to move forward, that is what it is. So I love that. So you're not bidding against each other. It's just take action and you're the winning bidder, not like on the open market.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on top of that. I had a question come through that these prices are fixed, or is there room to negotiate? Well, certainly we have a lot of activity and quite a few of you on the call tonight. So if you're feeling frisky and you want to simply make an offer, all offers will be entertained. However, you know, first contract down, so first accepted offer will be the ticket. Once we have an accepted offer, we don't, you know, take, you know, or discard that and go with the highest and best. But certainly, if you think that the property is worth less, or you want to gamble on a lowball offer, then please do. But the seller will counter, and we'll go from there. I also had another question here about home inspections. All of the properties have been inspected. However, when you put one of these under contract and you're going through this closing process, it's absolutely imperative that you have your own third-party inspection. There's plenty of inspectors in the area, just like every other metro area around there, and do yourself a favor, spend the $250 that it's going to cost for that inspection, and make sure that you've got sound peace of mind that this property is in tip-top shape.
Yes, and you know, people buy brand new builds. You know, we sell brand new builds, and they say, Tanya, why do I need a home inspection? It was just built. I say, because they're not up to code. Maybe there's something missing. Maybe it's not the builder that's bad. Maybe it was just a contractor that had to get home to his wife, or, you know, was in a hurry and missed something. So that's why I always say, do your due diligence. I'll be there throughout the entire transaction as much as you would like me to be or not. Some clients CC me on every email, so you'll get to know me really well as much as you want to get to know me. So we'll go from there, but I think Patrick has one more property.
Yeah. Before I move on to that property, I wanted to, you know, a lot of people are questioning about the termites as well. I mean, that's always a major point, but we've had the termite inspection done. And as you'll note in the contract for the sale of this property, or these properties, that you'll receive a certified letter from the termite company clearing the property as free of termites. So that is something that will be provided to you through escrow. That way, again, you can have peace of mind that the properties are termite free. Lastly, which I'm not going to spend much time on, is this property here. It's I guess this is actually our oldest property for the night. It's built in 1994. But this one, you know, I did a little, I've been talking to some of you guys that are on the call tonight throughout this week as we've gotten prepared here. I had a relationship with some of you guys, and this property is already under contract. So it's off limits, and the other four are still available. We have had a lot of interest. However, no accepted contracts at this point. In terms of financing, I always remember going local. We have had experience with, know, and trust Mr. Phil Cornett, who works for a local bank in Clarksville, First Advantage Bank. They're a regional bank, so they're not just located there. But he is just a wealth of information, just a super nice guy that understands the market very well. He understands our Marshall Reddick model and will be happy to spend the time necessary with you to get you pre-qualified, pre-approved, and locked and ready to go. Now, what's the process? What do I do? Well, Tanya's on the call tonight. She's the real estate advisor, so you're going to want to give her a call first. Get any questions, concerns, answers that you had. Besides that, when you're ready to make an offer, then certainly let us know. And we will, Malika, the real estate agent at John's office, who will be representing you, in the transaction. We'll get you over the documentation at your specific offer request, which will be submitted to the seller, who will either accept or counter. So pretty easy process, pretty straightforward. Again, first come, first served basis.
All right, you guys, if you haven't already been taking notes, go ahead, find a piece of paper, a pen, a pencil. Pencils work better than pens. I know when I pick up a pen, that one doesn't work out of like the 20 pens I have. But go ahead, write down my phone number. I'm going to stay here until the phones don't ring anymore and or the emails stop coming in. So go ahead, let me know. If you're not ready to move tonight, that's okay. Go ahead and let me know which type of property you're interested in. This is going to be a relationship, so just let me know what you're looking for, your time frame, and what was appealing to you. So I will be here on standby, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Tanya. I'll go ahead and close for the evening, you guys. I just wanted to kind of highlight why Oak Grove. Okay, you notice that a number of our properties tonight are on the Oak Grove side of this metro area. Well, the same property that we're looking at on the Clarksville side of the border, which is literally a stone's throw, is selling for $120,000 to $140,000. Okay, and to boot, it doesn't get any more in rent. So $120,000 to $140,000 purchase price renting for $850,000 to $950,000 is certainly not going to have the return that a property just on the other side of the border in a neighboring, pretty much same city that's being engulfed by Clarksville, you know, that is being sold for the 80s and 90s that rents for the same $850,000 and $950,000. That's where the deals are. Okay, and Oak Grove is just feeding off this growth that's going on in Clarksville, that's feeding off the growth that's going on in Nashville, that's feeding off the growth that's happening in the South. It's just absolutely amazing. So that's one of the major reasons. And you know, I'll draw a parallel. You know, we've been marketing quite a bit and selling quite a bit of property in South Florida, Southwest Florida, and we're doing so in a city called Lehigh Acres, which is a part of the Cape Coral, Fort Myers metro area. And it's the same dynamic. That property in Cape Coral selling for $150,000 is selling in Lehigh Acres for a fraction of that price and commands the same amount of rent. It's one of those Marshall Reddick things that we've always followed, which is, you know, buy on the outskirts, newer properties, and go where the deals are. Go where the deals are. Okay, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed the presentation tonight. I wanted to thank Ms. Tanya LORIMORE again for her time and all of your guys' time. In addition to what Tanya said, you guys are welcome to call me anytime. Happy to share my experiences not only in this market, but in the other markets in which I own rental property. So for tonight, you guys enjoy your evening, and we will talk to you soon.
Good night.